You stand in a chamber of silent judgment. The air is cold and thin. It tastes of sterilized metal and ozone. Your captors watch you from an elevated dais. They are tall beings. Their bodies are encased in polished obsidian armor. You cannot see their faces, only the cold glow of their multi-lensed eyes. They call themselves the Assembly. Their justice is swift. Their logic is absolute. They accused you of carrying a galactic plague, a weapon of mimetic contagion. You are humanity's last musician, and your only crime was a simple song. They believe your music is a disease. Your ship was a relic, a tiny vessel lost between star systems. They found you adrift and alone. They brought you here for this trial, to answer for the echoes you carry. They demand you explain the purpose of your song. They demand you surrender your instrument. You refuse. You told them your song is your only testimony. It is your only defense. They conferred in a language of clicks and chimes. It was a sound like shattering glass. Finally, they agreed. Your life hangs on a melody, a tune from a world now lost to dust and memory. You are the keeper of the last echo. Your trial is about to begin. The primary judge addresses you. A deep, resonant voice fills the chamber. It is a sound without warmth. It speaks through a translator on your wrist. You are accused of cultural contamination. Your vessel carried a forbidden signal, a sequence of patterned sound. The being known as Executor, Core, leans forward. Its 4 crimson eyes fix upon you. Explain this signal, the Executor demands. Explain its purpose, its origin, its design. You remain silent for a moment. You meet its gaze. It's tough to look intimidating in a standard-issue jumpsuit. You do your best. Your answer is not in words. You offer them the only thing you have left. You begin to hum. It is a simple tune, an ancient human melody from Earth. It speaks of green hills and distant mountains. It tells of love and loss, a sound utterly alien in this sterile room. The Executor, Core, recoils slightly. The other judges shift in their high-backed chairs. Their armor whispers against the metal. Cease this noise, the Executor commands. This is not an answer. But you continue humming. The melody grows a little stronger. It fills the space between you and them. This is your testimony. This is your truth. Let them find the meaning themselves. You have a feeling they are not going to enjoy the performance. They allow you to have your instrument. 2 guards escort you to a small platform. It rises from the floor in the center of the chamber. 1 guard carries a case, a worn, battered container made of wood and metal. It holds the last musical instrument of its kind. They place it before you and step back. Their suspicion is a palpable force. You kneel and open the case. Inside rests a 6-stringed lute. Its wood is dark and smooth with age. Its frets are worn from countless fingers. Your fingers, and the fingers of keepers before you. You lift it with reverence. The instrument feels warm in your hands, a piece of a forgotten world, a spark of a dead sun. The assembly watches in silence. They expect a primitive noise, a chaotic burst of sound to prove their point. They see a simple wooden box with strings. You see an arc. You see a promise made generations ago. You place your fingers on the strings. You take a breath. And you play the first note. The sound is clear and pure. It is not loud. It does not shake the room. But it changes everything. The cold, sterile air seems to warm instantly. The note hangs in the silence. It is a drop of water in a vast desert, a single point of light in an endless dark. Then you play another, and another. The song begins. The simple melody echoes through the vessel's halls. It travels far beyond the judgment chamber. It moves through conduits and bulkheads. The ship's internal sensors begin to react. Technicians in the control nexus stare at their screens. They see impossible energy signatures. Phantom signals that blossom and fade with the music. The song is not just sound. It is weaving something into the ship's systems. A ghost made of harmony. The assembly judges feel it too. A subtle vibration in the deck plates. A flicker in the overhead lights. Executor, core, glances at a data slate. Its four eyes narrow in confusion. The readings make no sense. The music should be simple acoustic waves. Easy to contain, easy to analyze. Yet their most advanced instruments detect graviton flux. They see temporal distortions on a quantum level. Every note you play is a pebble tossed into a pond. The ripples are spreading through their reality. The song has a life of its own. Your captors are logical beings. They do not believe in ghosts. But the ghost in your music is very real. And it is starting to show them things. The music deepens. The simple folk tune transforms. It becomes a symphony of impossible complexity. The minds of your captors are filled with images. They are not memories. They are experiences. You are showing them a civilization lost to time. A people who built worlds from sound. They see a golden age of humanity. Not the humanity they know. Not the scattered remnants they found in you. This was a different kind of existence. A people called the Song Builders. They see cities that sing in the light of twin suns. They witness starships that ride on waves of pure harmony. A culture where science and art were one. The Song Builders did not conquer the stars. They befriended them. They learned the universe's own music, the grand symphony of creation itself. They could compose a star into existence. They could orchestrate the birth of a nebula. The assembly sees it all through your song, a vision of a past that feels more real than their present. The music showed them peace. It showed them creation. It showed them a power beyond their comprehension. For a moment, their rigid logic is shattered. They are lost in the beauty of a dead civilization. They almost forget you are their prisoner. Then the melody changes. A minor key enters the symphony, a single dissonant chord that hangs in the air. The vision of the golden age begins to fade. The beautiful singing cities fall silent. The star-born harmonies are replaced by a dreadful quiet. The song tells of a shadow falling. You show them the arrival of an enemy, a force that consumed sound, a void that fed on life and light. The Song Builders called it the hush. It came from the empty spaces between galaxies. It was not an army. It was a creeping silence, a nothingness that erased entire worlds. The music conveys a feeling of profound loss, a deep and ancient sorrow. The assembly witnesses the end of the golden age. They watch as the Song Builders fight back. They use their sonic weapons. Their symphonies of creation become weapons of war. But you cannot fight silence with sound. The hush simply absorbed it all. The song is now a dirge, a lament for a billion lost souls. It speaks of a desperate last act, a final, impossible plan to survive. The music is full of grief, but it is also full of hope. A tiny flicker of defiance against the endless dark. One of the judges is not lost in the vision. Its name is Auditor Jin. Its role is analysis. It has been studying the energy readings from your song. While the others saw story, Jin saw data. It filtered out the emotional resonance. It looked at the raw structure of the music, and it saw the truth. Auditor Jin stands suddenly. The clicking of its armor breaks the spell. Executor it says, its voice sharp with discovery. This is not a memory. It is a signal. The composition, it is a data stream. The executor turns its 4 eyes toward the auditor. The music continues to play. A sad, soft melody. The complexity is infinite. Jin continues. Its metallic fingers trace patterns in the air. Each note contains layers of information, biological codes, engineering schematics, star charts, history, philosophy. The auditor's voice is filled with something new. Not logic, not reason. It is awe. The song is a blueprint, Jin declares. It is a design for an entire civilization. The other judges now look at you. They look at your simple wooden lute. They see you not as a musician. They see you as a librarian, the curator of a world hidden in a melody. They had no idea they put an entire world on trial. The song softens. The mournful dirge fades into a gentle hum. You look up at the judges. You see their shock, their confusion. You finally give them the words they demanded. They were not destroyed, you say. Your voice is quiet but clear. It carries across the silent chamber. They were saved. You let the truth settle in the room. You let them process the auditor's discovery. The music you play is not a recording. It is a state of being. It is a digital arc. The song builders faced extinction, you explain. The hush was consuming their galaxy, so they converted themselves into music. You describe the great transformation, an entire people translating their consciousness. Billions of minds turned into pure information. They encoded their bodies, their memories, their culture. They wove it all into the notes of a single, endless song. They became a civilization in exile, a ghost in the machine of the universe. The song is not their story, you tell the assembly. The song is them. You are not just a musician. You are a shepherd, a keeper of a promise, tasked with carrying this sonic arc to find a safe harbor where the song could be sung once more, and a whole civilization could be reborn. The executor, Core, sits back in its chair. The truth of your words crashes over it. The implications are staggering. You are not a criminal carrying a weapon. You are a refugee carrying a world. This changes everything, and it makes their situation infinitely more dangerous. The assembly chamber is filled with a new tension. The judges look at one another. Their logical minds race to calculate the new reality. They understand your burden now. You carry the last remnant of a powerful civilization. But this knowledge brings them no comfort. It brings them only fear. A deep, primal fear their sterile culture had long forgotten. If this is true, the executor says slowly, then playing this song is a profound risk. It understood immediately. The song builders hid in the music to escape the hush. By playing the song aloud, you have sent a beacon, a signal flare into the deep dark. You have announced your location to their ancient enemy. To protect you is to invite that enemy to their doorstep. To protect the song is to welcome their own doom. The assembly is a pragmatic race. They value survival above all else. Their logic dictates a simple, brutal solution. Destroy the song. Destroy the keeper. Erase the signal before it can be traced. It would be like you were never here. It would be a very quiet solution. Suddenly, a siren blares through the ship. Red lights flash across the chamber walls. A synthesized voice speaks in their clicking language. The executor looks at a data screen. The crimson glow of its eyes widens in horror. Your translator whispers the ship's announcement into your ear. Unidentified fleet detected. Silent energy profile. Trajectory is intercept. The executor, Core, looks at you. There is no anger in its eyes now, only a cold, stark realization. It was too late. The hush has heard the song. The ship shudders. A distant, muffled impact. The attack has begun. The enemy fleet is visible on the main view screen. They are not ships of metal and light. They are patches of perfect blackness against the stars, holes in the fabric of space. They move without propulsion. They fire no visible weapons. They simply advance, and the space they occupy goes silent. The Assembly's fleet moves to engage. Their ships fire beams of concentrated energy. The beams strike the silent voids and vanish. There is no explosion, no impact flare. The energy is simply gone, absorbed, consumed. The hush continues its silent, relentless approach. Panic begins to ripple through the Assembly's logical society. Amid the chaos, you continue to play. Your song changes again. The sad lament is gone. It is replaced by a powerful, defiant anthem. The executor, core, turns its attention back to you. What are you doing? It demands over the alarms. Your music brought them here. You are correct, you reply, your fingers moving faster. The song was their prison. It was their ark. But it was also their weapon. You look at the terrified judge. This melody is more than just an archive, you tell them. It is a tool of creation, the ultimate blueprint. They only saw the data. They never understood the purpose of the art. You play the final movement of the song, a part that has been silent for millennia, a crescendo of unimaginable power. The notes leap from your instrument. They do not fade into the air. They solidify. They become threads of light and sound. They pour out of the judgment chamber, out of the ship itself, into the cold void of space. The Assembly watches in stunned silence. The battle outside is forgotten. All eyes are on the miracle unfolding before them. The threads of music are weaving together. They are building something impossible in the empty space between fleets. Harmonies become matter. Rhythms become energy. A symphony becomes reality. The song is a forge, and you are its master. The music is building a world from nothing. You are playing the grand overture of a new Genesis. A planet is being born from the heart of your melody. It is a world of crystal and light. It sings as it grows, a resonant frequency that pushes back against the silence. The silent ships of the hush stop their advance. For the first time, they have encountered a force they cannot absorb. The New World Song is the antithesis of their being. It is a wave of pure creation, a resonant harmony that unravels their silent nature. The void cannot consume a sound that creates. The crescendo builds. The new world pulses with light and energy. Waves of harmony radiate outwards. They strike the silent ships. The perfect blackness of their hulls begins to fracture. Cracks of light appear. The ships begin to resonate with the world's song. And then they simply fall apart. They dissolve into dust, erased by a sound they could not silence. The battle is over. The silence has been broken. The Assembly fleet floats in stunned awe. They have witnessed the birth of a world, the defeat of an ancient foe, all accomplished by one human and an ancient song. The music softens. The powerful anthem of creation fades. A new melody begins. It is a song of awakening. On the surface of the new world, forms begin to appear. They are humanoid. They shimmer with an internal light. They are born from the final notes of the song. The song builders are reborn. Their bodies are constructs of solidified sound. Their thoughts are a shared harmony. Billions of souls awaken from their long sleep. They step out of the music and onto the world that was made for them. They look up at the stars. They see the assembly ships. and they see the small, human vessel that carried their hope. The civilization hidden within your song is now free. They are no longer a memory, no longer a ghost in the music. They are alive. They are whole. And they begin to sing. A chorus of a billion voices joins your melody. A song of thanks. A song of rebirth. A song of a new beginning. Your fingers finally still. The last note fades from your ancient lute. The song is finished. Your task is complete. The chamber is silent once more. But it is a different kind of silence. It is not empty. It is filled with awe. And the distant sound of a civilization singing. The executor, Kor, approaches you. It no longer sees a prisoner. It sees a creator, a legend. It bows its head, a gesture of profound respect. You have kept your promise, it says. The words are no longer cold. They are filled with a new understanding, a new emotion their logical minds are just beginning to process. You are no longer the last echo. You are the first voice of a new age. You came to them as a captive, accused of a crime you did not commit. You leave them as a hero, the human who hid a civilization in a song and gave the galaxy back its voice.